If you've ever wanted to grow your own food but had absolutely no idea where to start, this video is made for you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the process of starting your very first vegetable garden the easy way, from finding the right spot to picking the right plants and putting them in the ground the right way. This show debuts here first before we air it on broadcast TV. Today, there's no gimmicks, no guesswork, just professional methods that actually work. Like, subscribe, share. Now let's get growing. Growing a vegetable garden is one of the most amazing things a person can do because we're talking about life. Your soil is alive, your plants are alive, then you get to reap the harvest thereof. How awesome is that? So where do we start? How do we start? That's the whole key. First off, we need a full sun situation. Your plants have to have 6 to 8 hours of direct full sunlight. If you're growing leafy vegetables, they can grow at 4 to 6 hours of direct sunlight. You can grow vegetables all year round, winter, spring, summer, and fall, unless you've got snow on the ground, and then we can modify that by creating little greenhouses and such. But today we're going to be doing this right now because it is the season to be planting a vegetable garden. So we've got our sun in order. Now we have to figure out, where are we going to plant this thing? Well, if you don't have any room and you only have a patio or something, you're okay with using just something like a container. It doesn't have to be a decorative one either. It could be something like this. It's pretty ugly. Use a 5 to a 15 gallon size container. You're going to be perfect about that, because in a bit I'm going to tell you about how deep you actually need to grow and how much soil is needed for a vegetable to grow. So you can grow on in the front of your house, you can grow on the side of the driveway, on the sidewalk, or not on the sidewalk, but next to the sidewalk. Wherever there's dirt and soil, you can grow vegetables as long as you meet these certain criteria. So I'll tell you what, we're going to focus on this planter bed right here, and it happens to be 6 feet long by 3 feet wide. And you could tell that we have this giant snake in here. No, don't worry, it's not alive. This right here is a soaker hose, and it has little itty bitty tiny holes inside of it to where the water weeps out. It doesn't spray or anything. It literally just oozes out, and it waters this whole thing just fine. I have it hooked up to all of the planter beds here, so it works out really, really well. Now, the other thing is that you're going to have to do is to fortify the soil. Now, what I do is I take and I actually use regular old potting mix. You're going to see that I have a lot of this white stuff right here. Let's pull some out. You got this white stuff. This right here happens to be perlite. And perlite is a material that has little tiny holes inside of it, which captures and holds water. That right there, the plant roots will gravitate to, so you could actually water a whole lot less. So what do we do now? Okay, anyway, you could use compost. I love compost, especially if it's a brand new situation. Take compost and work it into the soil. But for what I have over here, I'll just use this exact soil. We turn it up every year or so, and we add new soil to it to raise the soil level, because it does compost down. And using a potting mix is just so nice because of that. Now we're gonna take a look at some of the, well, first off, let's do this. You could either plant by seed or sets. Now, planting by seed is exciting as all get out, because once you put the seed in the ground and it starts growing, it's going to be pushing up the soil. When it starts pushing up the soil, it's just like, oh, look at this. This is just beautiful how this whole thing is working. Absolutely love the whole concept. However, sometimes seeds don't start for you. Sometimes, even though they say they have, they'll say that they have maybe 50, 60, 70% viability to this. In other words, germination rate. If they don't grow, you're really disappointed, especially if you're going to be gardening with kids. But anyway, for a beginner gardener, you can do this. Now, mind you, there's a whole bunch of seeds. I don't know, did I already say that these seeds are from Czechoslovakia? Yeah, a good friend of ours who's on the program, Jack's Jill. We've pruned roses and done all kinds of stuff with her. She went to Czechoslovakia and got me these seeds. I have no idea what these are. I have no idea. There's some kind of bean. Anyway, we're going to grow these. I'm going to have myself an international garden this year. The other thing is this. It kills people to do this all the time. When you sow the seeds, put the seeds out, there's a survival of the fittest kind of thing. You have to thin them out. That means you got to get rid of the weakest ones, keep the stronger ones. That's just the way that works. Okay, so if you are going to go with seeds, you're gonna over here we've got ourselves some water, and many of the seeds, they like to be soaked in water. So for instance, here I have some corn that I'm going to be planting around my tractor in the back over there, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to soak the seeds, and we're going to soak them anywhere from 4 to 24 hours. I normally don't wait much more than 24 hours. And typically speaking, when you're planting with seed, hold on here. You know, the instructions are always on here. They'll tell you whether it's a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, or whatever. But a good rule of thumb is if you're going to be planting by seed, however big the seed is, that's how deep you bury it. So itty bitty tiny seeds, you're just going to sprinkle a little bit of soil on top. But if you're going to be going something like corn, you can go down a good 1/2 inch and they shall be just fine. So anyway, this is what they call a scarification kind of a process, I guess, and it's a rehydrating of it. It gets down into the coat, through the coat, and your germination is going to be much bit better. However, we're going to cheat. And the reason and how we're going to cheat is that we're going to go to the market, or we're going to go to the nursery or the garden center, and we're going to buy plants that somebody else started already. So we have several different types of plants that are over here. Here we happen to have this is cucumbers. Now look what they did over here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 cucumber plants out of one, and this puppy cost me $3.98. I am going to get so much more than $3.98 worth of plants out of this thing. Here's another one. This is a squash. This one has 1, 2. This one has 3 of them too in here as well. What I like about this is that they grow this one in the containers, and you could see the root system on it and how it grows. That's always really cool. You could do this yourself, by the way. If you were to take like a bucket, fill it up with soil, and then you put a clear glass that has a hole on the bottom in there, grow them like this, pull them out, and you'll see the roots just growing. Oh, it is so fun. Kids absolutely adore that. All right, let me talk about the kids for a second here. We want to encourage kids to get out in the garden and do stuff. So the kind of plants that you grow are really important. Cherry tomatoes, hands down, one of the best things. Get them in the ground, within 2-3 months, you're gonna have tomatoes, and there's gonna be oodles and oodles of them. If you get the big beefsteaks and all that, those are harder. It takes longer for them to grow, and for the little munchkins, they like the small ones anyhow. That's the first thing. The second thing is this: you want instant satisfaction with the kids. You know, they're on their computers and their cell phones and stuff like that. It's kind of a fun thing to do. You do have to explain to the kids that if you're going to be planting by seed, it takes a time for them to come up. But if you plant something like basil, if you plant something like mint, and you get into the ground or into a container, the second they put them in the ground, have them take a leaf off and eat it. It's an amazing thing. And they can know that bam, and they're going to think that they grew that, and you allow them to grow that. How cool is that? Okay, so what we're going to do here is we have a whole bunch of different tools that are at our hand here. We have shovels, we have weeders, we have hoes, we have rakes, and all that. You don't have to have, don't go thinking you have to have full-size rakes. These are cute little rakes. This one is designed specifically for getting underneath leaves under bushes. But here, you could just scratch up the soil and you can clean things up. But what we're going to do first here is that we're going to scratch it up a little deeper than that. So we're going to use this tined fork here, and we're going to kind of dig it up this way. And you could tell that my soil is super, super easy to work with, which I'm very blessed with, I'll tell you that much. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm using a potting soil. Okay, so we're gonna take this, work it up, and we have to understand that soil, in particular, plants, they only need about 3 to 4 inches of soil in order for them to produce. We're talking every single plant. Don't worry about it. So a 6-inch planter is perfect for growing anything, absolutely anything. Don't worry about that. So I definitely have, we got 4 inches right here. I know that this is worked up real well. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to rake this out and get it a little bit more on the level side. Now, if you notice, I turned my rake around because I'm not interested in pulling that's not debris, it's the soil. I'm not interested in pulling it as much as I am just kind of flattening this out. So if you want to, using gloves is very, very important. So don't forget that you can use gloves if you're afraid that you're going to get dirt in your hands, the dirt in your fingernails. I've got pretty fingers because I use gloves. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was to put this zucchini plant and this cucumber plant right there, it's gonna absorb the whole thing. This right here is gonna grow this big. That's how big it is. So I have to think about this. If I'm gonna grow the zucchini plant and I'm gonna grow this over here, this is a viney plant. So being that it's a viney plant, I may wanna take and put a cage around it to grow it up. See how that works? So let's just do this. We're gonna take this and we're gonna plant this right here. And we're going to pull this out. See, we have a thing that says zucchini here. It says zucchini on it. Okay, we're going to put our fingers around this, tap it out. You don't have to, unless this is really, really, really coiled. This is not that bad. We don't have to do much to it. We're just gonna take this like this, dig a hole. No, we're not gonna bury it any deeper than it came out of the container. So do not bury it any deeper than this. Okay. Now, you wanna know something? That's done. It's just that simple. You put it in the ground, you water it, you watch it grow, and then you harvest. How awesome is that? So while you're staring at this right here, I'm gonna go get a cage and I'm gonna show you how to plant these things. And I do this every single year where I take and I grow my cucumbers up and down. All right. So here I have 3 or 4 cucumbers in here, right? So I'm gonna put this out like this. Oh, look at those roots on there. Isn't that something? That's because we have 4 plants. Now check this out. Some people would be afraid to do this, not me. I'm gonna tear this apart. So I'm gonna plant this in a different part of the garden, and this is gonna go right here. Pack it down just a bit. So we're gonna show you that we're gonna have a symbiotic relationship between these 2 plants. It's gonna engulf this whole area if I allow them to grow like this. But what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna take this tomato cage and I'm gonna put this tomato cage in. Boom, just like that. Now what's gonna happen is as this starts to grow, it's going to send off little tendrils, and I'll start attaching itself, and I'll bring it up. The plants are going to go way up here like this, and they're going to grow outwards. I so love gardening. It's ridiculous. You see this? This is a tag. I'm going to write on that tag, and I'm going to let everybody know that it's a pickling cucumber. It's actually for Mrs. Things Green. She actually does that. So anyway, so let's go over the process again real quick over here. What do we need? We need full sun. What do we need? We need an area to grow in, whether it's a pot or in the ground. What do we need? We need either plants, seeds, or plants. I am encouraging you to get the sets or the already grown plants, and then you need to put them in a well fortified soil, and then make sure that we have our irrigation properly working. You're gonna move that out. We'll put our irrigation here, and then oops. All right, so that's gonna be perfect. I think I'm gonna cry. This is so beautiful. So this is the way that we do it. Water the plants, feed the plants with the dramatic organic fertilizer. Make sure that you harvest the plants. They want to be harvested. The more you harvest, the more they're going to grow. Don't let your squash or zucchini get the size of torpedoes. They don't want that. Pick them at 6 to 8 inches, and then more and more will come. And that right there is how you can grow your very first vegetable garden.